time to plug in.
We've been delivering food 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, with lithium batteries since 2012. We spent a lot of time trying to eliminate this black carbon problem that is at the hotels you stay at, where food gets delivered, at the restaurants, at the grocery stores, residential areas. The noise problem goes away with electrics. So we've seen the advantages of what we've accomplished over the years. We like to look at it as the golden nugget of ACT. What we're really trying to accomplish here at this show is for you to go zero emissions without any cost. In other words, zero costs to remove a ton of carbon. And that's what we're all talking about. What is the cost to our fleets? Because we can't have food prices go up because of zero emission technology delivering food. So when we designed our system, we designed it specifically for 28-foot to 53-foot trailers, multi-temp and single temp. And by doing that over the last 13 years, we were like Tom Hanks trying to come back from the moon. Every watt counted. Every way that you loaded the system counted. Everything that you could do to try to reduce the inrush, a reefer system turning on and off, was accomplished to the point now to where for a storage facility or anybody running these things on electric, they can do it with a 10 to 15 amp draw on a 480 volt circuit. So that's tremendous because that means you can deploy 50 to 100 of these without anything coming off the street for power. So we're very low impact on the grid. We accomplished that in a number of ways. One of the ways is by deploying solar panels on the roof of the trailer. Another way, if you look in front of the rear axles, is a wheel generator. We call that a momentum generator. So in the state of California, that's only recapturative. When you go outside the state of California, you can turn it on all the time and accomplish about a 98% reduction in your diesel. And so the whole idea here was to come up with something that had good communications. As you see on the slide there, we report literally every 60 seconds. So the condition of the system is always known and the technology exists. It's viable, it's there. It's a very powerful zero emission strategy. It's very safe. It's a 46 volt low voltage system. So all the solar panels on the roof are low voltage. The wheel generator's putting out low voltage. So there's never any risk to a human being ever having the heart stop because of a frequency or an arc flash or any number of problems with what high voltage systems offer. We built our first system high voltage in 2009 actually. And that's when we decided to move over to the forklift strategy of running low voltage. So really get down for the fleets, how do the numbers work? Because nothing is going to get deployed unless the numbers work. We've been fortunate enough to benefit from the CORE program. We've done over 400 vouchers on the CORE program, and we've been able to get good footprints and get what we call a beachhead strategy at big corporations that are using these systems every day to see if they can really integrate them and replace diesel for emission purposes. And this is what we're all fighting. When you look at the studies, especially the studies that CARB did, the emissions are pretty scary. And these sub-half micron particles, black carbon particles, come into our bodies. They don't leave. They come into your brains, they come into your hearts, they make your heart misfire because the black carbon creates tracks in our body, and it creates tracks that electric signals in your brain misfires. And so the studies are all pretty valid now coming in. People like Loma Linda University did these studies on 10,000 people. So this is a serious problem. It shouldn't have to be regulated. Now is the time without regulations to prove to the world that this industry can deliver food on time at the right temperature without black carbon emission. Each one of these TRUs can reduce up to 27 tons of carbon a year. That's a big number. It's as big a number as the trucks are. Yet we use about 1/7 of the power of a truck. So the efficiency in your power grid compared to how much carbon you're reducing is tremendous. And we're very proud of the fact we've reduced 17,000 tons of carbon so far on our effort. We've got one site that we're working on out in the East Coast where they're putting out 35,000 tons of carbon a year across the city and across the populace. So it's here. We can accomplish this now and get this reduced and eliminated. In this Los Angeles area here, AQMD has a program called a WARE program. A lot of these fleets pay very high fees for diesels coming and going to their locations. And our system offsets 20,000 or more per year against those fees that are being charged. So the system, when you blend that in, really pays for itself over and above some of the numbers I'm going to show you here in a minute. We sit down with our customers, we say, all right, what is this really going to cost you? Our goal to sit down with the customer, the golden nugget that we're talking about, is to get that ton of carbon reduced for free. We work through their numbers, how many hours a year they typically run, what they're paying for fuel, what their maintenance is. It's not free to pump that diesel into your rig every day, so you got to include that number into these calculations. We like to come up with, especially using the state vouchers, 30 to 50% reduction in cost. So it's not only free to reduce the carbon, you're saving money, and that's the new green that the world is talking about right now. So we want to be both green in emissions and green in your operational costs. As I said, it's a low voltage DC system, only pulls 10 to 15 amp on a 480 volt circuit. We convert that 480 volts at a charger, usually up on a wall at the dock door or out in the parking lot, to 46 volts. And then we send it out What we found over the years was number one problem with these systems was a human being not plugging them in or not wanting to plug them in. So we came up with automated charging, which we've had deployed now for 3 years, and we lose less than 0.5% of the energy across these conductive pads. So we've taken the human element out of it, we've gotten rid of cords, and it's all automated, and the charging is automated, as a matter of fact. As I said earlier, we've got tremendous telematics that really give us the condition of the system on an operational day. And of course, let's face it, at the end of the day, the job is delivered at the right temperature without any black carbon. We're looking at the hydrogen options right now that are very exciting, that are beginning to get to the point to where we think they can pencil in the next few months, maybe the next couple of years, as range extenders. The biggest problem you got with battery electrics is you get to the end of the route and somebody hasn't plugged it in, or somebody ran it at the distribution center for 4 hours, not plugged in. If we've got a backup hybrid that's hydrogen, we're still zero emission. We do solar grids, so we can even combine the solar and the hydrogen in a solar grid for people. We're a one-stop shop. We do the infrastructure as well. So one phone call to us and we're the solution set for the customer. We're playing with things like the thermal battery, to where you put phase change material inside the trailer to maintain the temperature to reduce the number of BTUs of the power when you're away from the distribution center. So we've got a total solution with stability and efficiency. Got over 12 million miles on the road, over probably closer to 2 million deliveries at this point. And we work elbow to elbow with the customer in the yard, listening, innovating, reacting quickly, and giving them the best bang for the buck that they can get. So over 100,000 of these things in California running every day. So it's a big deal. And there's probably nearly 900,000 of them operating in North America. It's time for powerful partnerships, and we're developing those. And we are there to support our customers 100%, 24 hours a day. And it's made in America. And it's designed to really take away any dangers to workers, designed to be easily implemented so that it can be integrated in the diesel without too much effort. Got a lot of patents that protect the technology. Of course, we qualify with CARB as zero emissions here in the state, and there's solar tax credits with the solar on the roof that we can equate into leases that help reduce costs further. And that's what this is all about, reducing pollution and reducing costs. Some of our largest food distributors in the country are our main partners, PFG, and we applaud them. They have been a phenomenal company for moving forward to reduce carbon in their corporation, as well as Unified. They deliver a lot of Whole Foods. Phenomenal companies, US Foods, Albertsons. We applaud them all. They've worked with us through the years, and it hasn't always been pretty. Sometimes you've got issues that you've got to work through, but we've been there working together, and we're all proliferating together. So we're very excited about this future. And here's the code. You can check us out, go to our website. There's a lot of information there, and we've spent a lot of time on it. I appreciate you all being here and listening to us today. Thank you.
Thank you, Robert.